Okay, now let us talk about Brandy Vaughan. Now, a couple weeks ago, it has been reported that Brandy Vaughan was found dead. Now, who is Brandy Vaughan? She is a well known anti vaccination activist and she founded LearnTheRisk.org. Now, Brandy Vaughan is a former pharmaceutical insider, and she's out here educating people on the real risk of big pharmaceutical drugs and vaccine. Right? Now you all need to pay attention, connect the dots, and ask questions because Brandy Vaughan was also a former sales representative for the pharmaceutical giant, which is Merck. No, I'm not saying that Merck had anything to do with Brandy Vaughan's death. All I'm saying is that we need to connect the dots and most definitely pay attention. Now, I'm going to go back in history and read from my book Operation Paperclip and show you the relationship between Big Pharma and the American government. Now, people, you need to learn from your past. Let your past teach you. And those of us who do not learn from the past, we are doomed to repeat it. Right? Now, let me get into this from the book Operation Paperclip. We'll pick it up from here. Almost no one in America had any idea that the U.S. Army had been developing biological weapons until January 3rd, 1946, when the War Department released a slim, sanitized government monograph called the Merck Report. Pay attention. No one knew that the American government was developing biological weapons, and that was in 1946. Let's continue. That is when the American public learned for the first time that the government's top secret program had been cloaked in the deepest wartime secrecy, matched only by the Manhattan Project for developing the atomic bomb. The rationale behind developing these kinds of weapons, the public was told, was the same as it had been with America's wartime chemical war weapons program if the Nazi had used biological agents to kill Allied soldiers. The US military would have been prepared to retaliate in kind. Yes, the war was over. Americans were now told, but unfortunately there was a new emerging threat out there. The Merck report warned an invisible and insidious evil capable of killing millions on a vast, unknowable scale. Americans' bioweapon programs need to continue. The Merck report made clear. Right? Now, the Merck report back in 1946 is making it clear that America needs to keep their bioweapons program because there is an invisible and insidious evil capable of killing millions of people. Now, what do we see happening today? Right? And I tell you people that this virus that we have is a biological weapon. And I will set out to prove this with receipts. Now let's continue. America may have won the war with the mighty atomic bomb, but biological weapons were the poor man's nuclear weapon. Biological weapons could be made by just about any country without vast expenditures of money or the construction of huge production facility. A bioweapon could be hidden under the guise of legitimate medical or bacteriological research. The report says, pay attention people, pay attention. History will repeat. Right? Now the Merck report is telling us that a bioweapon could be hidden under the guise of a legitimate medical or bacteriological research. Pay attention, and this is from 1946. What do you see happening today? Because they're calling this COVID-19 a China virus. Pay attention. Let history be our guide. Continue. The Merck report was written by George W. Merck, a 48-year-old chemist and the owner of Merck & Co., a pharmaceutical manufacturer in New Jersey. Now you're going to see the connection between big pharmaceutical company and politics, and you're seeing it and how far it goes back. Now, listen to this. Merck had served Presidents Roosevelt and Truman as a civilian head. He's a civilian and is the head of the U.S. biological warfare effort during the war. Merck and Co. made and sold vaccine. Notably, the first commercial U.S. smallpox vaccine in 1898, and in 1942 it manufactured penicillin G, among the first general antibiotics. Pay attention. During World War II, U.S. soldiers received smallpox vaccine. Right? Now listen to this part. The man diagnosing the bioweapons threat, George Merck, was also the man whose company might sell the government the solution to combat the threat. Right? Now, the book further go on to says that in 1946, this was not looked upon with the same scrutiny as it might have been decades later, because America's military-industrial complex has not yet been broadly revealed. Right? Now, people, look at the relationship between pharmaceutical companies and politics. Let history be our guide. The information is out there. I will leave all the details about this book, Operation Paperclip, so you can go out and get a copy for yourself and understand that we are in a spiritual warfare. Right? We wrestle not with flesh and blood, and this thing is real as it can get. Right? Now, these pharmaceutical companies, they do not have your best interest at heart, and all it takes is for you to look in their past and you will see the activities that they were up to. Right? Now, let us pray for humanity, because we're heading down a very dark and dangerous path as we say, glory be to the Most High.